everyone. I'm Heath.
And I'm Jay.
And you're listening to Host of Horror, show where we discuss and review horror films based off the predetermined themes of the month. Jay!
Hey, we're in a new month, and we have a guest.
And a new theme.
Oh, and a new theme.
And a new guest.
And a new guest.
This guy.
Hi, my name is John.
John, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I love movies, and I am just happy to be here. Been listening since the beginning. Trying to listen to as many as I can, but gotta watch them before I listen to them. So
Yeah, we do spoil things.
He's one of our first fans.
Woo!
And a personally great friend of mine. So, welcome, John, to Host of Horrors. Clap, round of applause, yeah? Round of applause.
Jay, what's our new theme?
Our new theme are...
Our new theme, Arg!
Pirates.
Pirates. Foreshadowing.
Wait a minute. I don't think that's right.
I don't think that's right either. All right, for real though. Our new theme is adaptations. So we're going to look at movies that have been adapted from different source materials, such as books, manga, whatever. Mostly books.
It's just novels.
It's just
novels.
Just novels.
Don't let him lie to you. It's just novels.
Did
Not
I lie?
written by Stephen King.
Did I lie?
You started to.
I didn't lie. I said adapted from source materials.
I think
Such
you're trying
as
to include everything in case there's a
I include everything.
change further on in the month.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I'm looking out for future us.
Fuck Future Us. Those guys are assholes.
No, they're not.
Do you think they care about us? What are they
Yes.
doing? What are they doing right now for us?
I don't know.
Nothing. Not a damn thing.
Jesus. Okay. I see how you feel about your future self. But what is the first adaptation that we watched this time? Or this month?
I actually own this one. The Ruins.
He thinks he can read.
Oh man.
Alright.
I can read enough to get by. The Ruins. Written by, Scott Smith. He also co-written this movie. He did the screenplay for it.
Have you read it?
No, I have not. My fiance has, though. And she tells me it is good.
So, this time, we're all going in blind, except for this one on The Ruins.
Yeah.
Because...
Good movie.
That is a really good movie.
This movie walked so The Happening could run.
Ooh!
Even though they came out in the same year.
Wait, The Happening ran?
It ran right into a wall.
Oh.
Right after the tree talked to it.
Oh, dear God. All right, so let's get into it. Let's talk about The Ruins. It was released in 2018, right?
2008.
2008?
Yes.
Wow, 10 years off. It was released in 2008. And I liked it. Like, I found some stuff very, very unnerving. But I'm also a sensitive little bitch. So.
Yeah, I thought your asshole was going to eat my couch.
It was not going to eat the couch.
Nom, 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 nom,
Not much. It was only going to graze it. No, okay, so...
Just give it a little pucker butt kiss.
Yeah, a little pucker kiss. This is the first movie the first horror movie that we've seen that's in a survival horror genre. Mm-hmm. So this is the first one like that. So whenever I usually think of survival horror, I usually think of specific Resident Evil games. I think 5. I think 5 was the one that was a survival horror.
No, 5 was the one that was like Call of Duty.
That was a survival horror one. That's what they call a survival horror one.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
I feel like the other ones like Biohazard and Village, you're trying to survive that shit more than you're doing. You're just mowing down zombies in the 5th one.
No, I thought survival horror video games was having to ration your supplies and bullets. I thought that was the whole franchise of Resident Evil.
See, Wikipedia lied to me once again.
Except for 5. Again, 5 is like Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only co-op one that I know of.
Yeah.
Wikipedia lied to me again.
You trust things on the internet, Jay? Didn't we watch a movie telling us about everything on the internet's the facts?
You did watch that. Yes,
yeah, it was
you did.
Jennifer's Body.
Hey, that was a good one.
Callbacks.
That was a good one. All right, John, I really want to know your opinion since you went in blind just like I did.
Oh, man. I did not like it, to be honest.
Oh, all right out the gate.
I
All right, what you think?
What do I think? I think that a lot of it felt just kind of forced, very campy, which can be good. But
I'm here for campy.
I was not feeling this one for the camp of. I don't want to say too much too soon, so just the way it was going, I didn't feel it.
Tisk.
I was very worried in one aspect, but then was actually surprised that it turned. I liked that part of it.
We love a good twist.
But
M. Night Shyamalan, eat your heart out.
oh man, are we just gonna rag on them all this episode?
Yeah.
We do it all the time.
All the time. M. Night and Jared Leto.
Yeah, Jared Leto.
Okay.
Fuck you, Jared Leto.
So wait, you're saying that this movie came out 2008?
2008.
Same years of the happening?
It came out same year, yeah.
Okay, so 2 films were planned to try to kill us?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. One was on like a global scale, and the trees were actually talking. This one, the trees aren't talking. It's more like luring. This movie's fucking awesome. You don't know what you're talking about.
All
Shut your
right.
face.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with the parts that I liked about the film. The part that I liked is the whole plant. I like the plants learning thing. It kind of goes in environmentalist kind of style, where it's like you fuck around and find out, and that's exactly what these white kids did. They fucked around and found out.
This movie goes into the subgenre of horror that I like to call white people doing stupid things.
Yes. And see, that's one of the main things that was worrying me at the beginning, was a bunch of Westerners. There's even a line at one point.
Oh, yeah, with the
Oh,
Americans.
Jeff? Yeah, where he's like, Americans don't just get lost on vacation.
Right.
It doesn't happen.
You know, they don't make stupid decisions, wander off into the jungle and find some ancient curse, which is a whole problematic genre by itself. So actually, what I did like was the surprise that it is these carnivorous plants, basically. Like, I was afraid it was going to be, oh, these white people find an indigenous curse, and then it turned out to be plants, and the indigenous people are like, hey, don't go there, man.
Mm-hmm. And if you really think about it, like, the guy may have been yelling at him at the beginning, but I feel like it was more of a,
Don't go there.
Yeah, don't go there kind of yell, not really a whole, we're being antagonistic towards you. Because I feel like if they wouldn't have touched the plants like that one guy did, or Amy fell into it.
Right.
If Amy would have never fallen into it and they just kind of like followed the indigenous people, okay, movie over. Actually, they would have just fucking listened to Amy. Movie over.
Yeah.
All right, so
Fuck Jeff. Amy's great.
Like, let's get into the characters. So we, of course, we have Amy, Jeff, which they're a couple.
They're together.
You have Eric and Stacy.
Stacy.
They're together. And then you have these people that they meet.
Dimitri and Matthias.
Matthias. From Germany.
One is German, one is Greek.
Right. Dimitri was Greek and left his other Greek buddies back at the hotel.
Oh, and those poor fuckers. Those poor people.
Damn. Yeah, so basically they were like having a vacation in Mexico. And out in Mexico, and then like,
and they were just doing white people vacationing.
Yeah,
where like they didn't do anything fun. They kind of just stayed at the hotel by the pool drinking, which honestly would have been okay. But Jeff was like, "Hey, let's go see some ruins." But Eric's like, "Nah, I don't want to do that." And Amy was also like, "Nah, I don't want to do that." But then Matthias comes up and he's like, "Hey, you guys want to go check out some ruins that no one's ever seen before? My brother's there excavating it." And they're all like, "Hey, that sounds cool. Yeah, that's totally cooler than like ruins everyone's seen."
Little did they know that they were already dead. They're already gone. And from the get-go, you know there's some fucked up shit, because the first thing we see is some chick getting like scrouched up.
Yeah,
screaming for help. She got
she's in a little dark hole, and you hear like you hear squirming in the background, and then all of a sudden she just gets yanked and yeeted, and that's your first. So your opening scene. So that kind of sets the tone for what we're going for.
Mm-hmm. So with that, he's like, you get these white peopling. They meet Matthias and Dimitri, and they're like, oh, let's go. And I'm just like, this is already gonna be bad. Already, because it's giving Spring Break, but like Spring Break gone wrong.
So Spring Breakers.
Yeah. Spring Breakers, except I could actually stand to watch this one.
Ooh. Understandable burn.
Yeah, no, really. I'm not a big fan of Spring Breakers.
But I'm a big fan of this movie. This movie's awesome.
This movie is, you know what? I'm not even gonna lie. There are a lot of parts where I was like sitting here squirming because when it comes to like realistic body horror, I'm like, oh, I cannot take this. But if it's like extremely like, you know, stylized and campy, and I'm not gonna say overtly gory, but like, what's the better term for it? If it doesn't look like it's real, if it doesn't look too realistic, I'm okay with it. This was all of the like the body horror was like too real for me, dog. And then coupled with the situation they were in, my arm was like this, like a good like 1/4 of the movie, like quarter movie was like, I was looking, and I thought I can't do it, dog. So I was a little bitch for this one. Like I can't even fathom. I was a little bitch for this one, but I don't give a fuck. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Even though I've seen this movie quite a few times at this point, the leg breaking scene always gets me.
Oh yeah. Oh. So that part.
So essentially, they make it to these ruins, and these indigenous people, like we said, kind of after they touch the plants.
Hold on. What about the taxi driver first?
That was funny. That was funny as shit. So they get on this bus with Matthias, and they get in Dimitri, and they get in this little small town, just small off the beaten path town. And they find this taxi driver, and they're like, hey, can you take me here? And this taxi driver says, no, this place is not good. I will take you to somewhere nice. I know beautiful ruins all over the place. You white people really don't need to go there. And they're like, we'll pay you $20. All right, white people, let's go. I'll take you.
I take.
Fuck you, white people.
And then just leaves them.
And yeah, he drops them off and then just, whoop, gone. Hey, what are we going to do? How are we going to get out of here? We'll call him, stupid Amy. They really should have listened to Amy.
They really should have been listening
to Amy.
They were listening to John when John gave me energy like...
I think his name is Jeff.
Jeff John Johnson. Jeff John Johnson. I think that was his full name.
I think it was Jeff Dean McIntyre.
Jeff Dean McIntyre.
That's what I said.
Like,
Jeff John Johnson.
The most Caucasian ass name.
Was he played by J.K. Simmons?
We're going to need a moment.
J.K. Simmons deserved way better than what you just gave him.
I'm just talking about the Triple J name.
The Triple J, man.
J. Jonah Jameson.
All he wanted was to find pictures of Spider-Man, dog. That's all he wanted. You could have just given him that and like took the money and ran. That's all I'm just saying.
He was a good dude in the end.
Depending.
Oh, he was. He was. Green Goblin was all like, hey, where's Spider-Man? And he's like, I don't fucking know. But he knew. He knew.
I guess. Anyway.
Don't you anyway this. Anyway.
The amount of violence that I want to like inflict on you right now.
Anyway. So they make it to the ruins. The indigenous people are like, yeah, no, you stay there. So they go up. They find out that, what was his name?
Dimitri?
No, it was Matthias's cousin.
Heinrich.
Find out Heinrich is not there. All his tent and equipment's there. Heinrich, nowhere to be found. Which causes not Dimitri, because Dimitri's dead. They killed Dimitri.
They murked him. And see, everything would have been fine if that was kind of not good for Amy. because I know she was just doing her best, but she shouldn't have took that picture. She shouldn't have shot that exposure that was given.
It wasn't the picture.
It was
the
the picture.
plants.
No,
it wasn't the picture.
No, the picture that triggered them to be able to shoot.
No. It was the plants. Amy took the picture, fell on the plants, right? And then they
took the picture. They which caused them to get alarmed, which caused her to fall.
They didn't get alarmed
into it.
They didn't get alarmed until she fell in the plants. That's when they started to get alarmed, and they thought the picture was what was causing it.
Oh my god!
So Dimitri went over, grabbed the camera, and was like, "Hey, here you go." And they're like, "No,
Right.
fuck that."
And there was a very specific shot of a close-up of Dimitri's legs when he stepped into the plants.
Yeah. And that's why they shot him, because he stepped in the plants. They didn't care about the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess. Okay. Either way, his ass got murked. No, not even gonna lie. That was kind of my favorite shot of the film. Just them just being murked, like Dimitri's getting murked. Like full frontal, just like bam, he got an arrow to the heart. And then bam, half his head is shot off now.
And I do love the fact that they just stayed on him. So like he gets an arrow and then they just stay on him while he's like, damn, did I really just get...
Oh, yeah.
That was good. Good shit.
That was very surprising. I was just like, oh man, didn't see it coming at all.
Yeah, no, because you sit there and you're thinking that it's going to do the movie thing where everyone freaks out and he starts like stepping back and falls down and shit. No, they give him a little bit of time to kind of process what's happening right now before he gets his head blown off.
No, they gave him no time. They was like, all right, we got to go. Boom.
But
not even gonna lie, that was probably like my favorite shot of the film. That was because it was like, yeah, fuck around, find out. And Dimitri found out.
Dimitri, and like the sad thing is when you really think about it, Dimitri shouldn't have done that, but he was also doing the right thing under normal circumstances.
Those are not normal circumstances.
They were not normal circumstances. Same thing with Jeff. Other than his medical incompetence, he was technically doing the right thing at first under normal circumstances. Again, not normal circumstances.
So the circumstances they got put in after they got up to the ruins was the fact that they were like, oh, let's explore.
No, they weren't exploring. They were trying to find Heinrich. Because remember, they heard the cell phone.
They were trying to find Heinrich. And then they look down. They see this whole, like, I guess, this... I can't think of the words. I can't English. It's like the rope, but pulley. They're going... The pulley, yeah. Oh, okay. There's a pulley that they're trying to go down. And, you know, Matthias being Matthias was like, all right, let's go, let's do it.
He's going to go
to find my brother.
Yeah, he's going to go find his brother.
And he was on a never-ending quest to find his brother. And all he got was a broken rope and a broken back. And
that was my second favorite shot. I have another favorite shot. That was my second favorite shot because, again, the camera just kind of focuses on him for a minute. His shocked Pikachu face as he just drops disappears in the darkness. And you don't hear anything. You don't hear a thud. You don't hear a break. Nothing. He's just gone.
Oh, yeah.
And they just kind of like stand there for a moment like, did that just happen?
Yep. And then the next person that goes down is Stacy.
Poor Stacy. She jumps because the rope's not long enough because most of it got broken thanks to Mateus. Asshole.
She goes down. She gets cut because, you know, shards of glass and shit.
Yeah.
And she sees Mateus. Bam. Broken body. And I'm just like, damn, I just felt so bad for him. But it's like all he tried to do was, I guess, the right thing in the normal circumstances. Granted, no circumstances were normal at that point. But I feel like they were following the protocol up to a point. Then after that, everything just went out the window. And they just tried their best to just fucking survive.
Well, I mean,
kind of.
Honestly, if they should have probably checked the rope if it was broken or not. But adrenaline and stuff, you know, I can see how that's a misstep. But if the plants weren't carnivorous, they probably would have been fine. They probably could have made it. Honestly, the native people probably have been like, what are y'all doing? Get out of here. And they
if the plants weren't carnivorous, there would have been secret ruins.
True.
And it would have been a tourist spot.
True.
And they would have found something else.
And they would have stayed at the hotel. Other
problem.
They would have stayed at the hotel. This would have been a boring-ass horror movie.
I can tell that there's a lot of things going on that I feel like the book was trying to accomplish that the movie probably did.
I think the movie's extremely straightforward.
I think the movie
Yeah.
was very like, oh yeah, no, don't fuck with like nature. Basically, that's what it was giving. Don't fuck with nature if you don't, if you can't fight back.
Yeah.
And these plants, I don't know. I feel like these plants were like feeding off the blood and off the body of, I guess, the flesh of people that were killed in there.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, every time it felt, because I noticed that it kind of grew the more people got killed.
Think about it.
Or am I just tripping?
You're just tripping about the growing part, but the blood part, no, because it didn't go into Stacy until she had an open wound. It didn't go after Mateus until his legs were bloody.
By that point, he was already in there, so his shit was gonna get wrapped up anyway.
Yeah, because they didn't, and again with Jeff and Eric, they didn't really touch Eric. They didn't even touch Amy really until she went down at the bottom and they could have surrounded her.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't touch Eric until he already got stabbed and died. So, and same thing with Jeff when he dies at the end.
Yeah, it really seemed like that the plants were also strategic and intelligent, because even if it had started going for Stacy and for Mateus while they were down there by themselves, still had 3 more people it wanted to get.
Mm-hmm.
But not intelligent enough to realize that these people weren't going to be allowed to leave because the indigenous were there, being like, y'all aren't spreading this to the rest of the jungle.
Well, they're also intelligent in the point where they kind of drove Stacy mad.
Oh yeah,
like they were because another one of my favorite scenes is when they find out. So after they get Mateus out of there, which he did end up breaking his back, and the girls kind of broke it a little bit more for him, getting him out of there. They finally get him out of there. They're like, okay, we have to find this phone, because they keep hearing a phone ringing down at the bottom. So they go back in and they find this little opening. Now this opening is completely covered with the plants. I mean, there's no ruins in sight. It's just plants everywhere. Mm-hmm. And they find a dried up husk of a body. So going back to your nourishing off the blood itself. Mm-hmm. The body's holding a phone, but the phone is cracked, broken, and dead, essentially. Yet they still hear ringing.
That's when I was like, wait a minute. The whole time I was thinking, who keeps calling Heinrich so much? Like, what the heck?
Right?
And then we get our answer.
I was also wondering now, like, how is Heinrich's phone still alive? So,
yeah,
like,
why is it still charged?
Still charged up. Like, how good of a battery is this thing?
Well, this was 2008 when you could throw a phone down 3 stories and it still just bounced back.
I mean,
up.
it was a BlackBerry, so it couldn't have that good of a battery life. True. But I guess I was proven wrong.
I remember my phones lasting longer about a decade ago.
Yeah. Before those times with the with the good old iPhones now,
but
where you get like 2 minutes per charge.
But Amy turns around and finds a red flower kind of vibrating, and she gets closer and closer, and she realizes it's the plant that's ringing. It wasn't doing that. It was actually ringing.
I can't imitate the ring.
Yeah, that sounds more like a vibrating.
Oh no, I just like the way
it's like they put their phone on vibrate.
I really like the way the plants vibrated. I kind of wish I knew what plants they were, so like I can try to decipher some kind of meaning of like flowerology or whatever the fuck they call it.
It looked like pot leaves, but with red flowers.
They did look like pot leaves.
Yeah, at first, before we find out about the plants, when the Mayans come out of the woods and they're like, yelling at them, I was like, wait, are they growing pot? Is that why they're so bad? Like, are they growing pot on these ruins and they're like, you're getting harvest or something?
Not even gonna lie, that they probably would have been like dank as fuck by this point otherwise, because wouldn't it even be like around it, like rubbing it all up on that shit would like get into your skin eventually?
You'd think, yeah.
That's not my area of expertise.
I don't think that's how that works. But...
Speaking of your area of expertise, aren't you a nurse yourself?
I am.
Okay, how accurate was Jeff in anything?
Since he was in med school.
So yeah, Jeff goes to med school, and he's like the de facto leader of this survival camp that they got going on because he went to med school.
He went to school, guys.
He's 22 and already in med school.
Should I say a lot about?
I don't know. Well, you know, at first I appreciated. At some point, he says, "We need to give him some aspirin or something, make sure his blood keeps moving." This is before before they cut off his legs with a rock. A lot of people think aspirin is a painkiller, and yeah, it can help you with that, but mostly it's a platelet aggregate. So it decreases the amount of platelets in your blood so you don't clot as fast. And so you don't... One of the big problems with an injury like a fall like that is if your femur fractures, you could end up getting clots, getting a fat embolism, and it could really fuck you up and kill you very quickly.
I wish I was dead at that point because he looked like he was in so much pain.
Oh, well, he probably was because he probably was septic. If you get an open wound and it gets infected, even like a small paper cut, if it gets infected and gets bacteria in your blood, then it can infect your entire bloodstream and septic shock. All your organs start shutting down one by one. It starts killing you. And Jeff does bring up septicemia, which is being septic. But he says, oh, it's usually in the bones. No, that word literally means that your blood is septic. So...
Do you have a question about the whole operation that Jeff did to Mateus? So Jeff says that they need to remove the legs because infection and everything. Get that. I do kind of get that a little bit. However, as they do it with a hunting knife, a rock that they put over a fire, and a cast iron skillet, mind you. This is their primitive way. This is Civil War style.
And some tequila.
And some tequila. A little better than the Civil War. But he says that he shouldn't feel anything from the waist down, that he is paralyzed from the waist down. So, but he obviously feels all of that. My question is, if you are paralyzed from the waist down, would you even feel that pain? Or is it like he said that like the visual alone can make you think?
Well, that's going to depend on how much of his spine was severed. If he breaks his back and your spine is severed, there's different levels. You could be a functional paralytic, where like you technically can still move your legs and still move and still feel stuff, but not enough for it to walk or to be helpful in any way. Or it could be completely severed and you can't move anything, you can't feel anything. Like it depends on the injury. I would say that Mateus screaming indicates it was not a complete cut.
So he felt that.
Probably.
Damn it, Jeff.
Jay, you gonna be okay?
That was when I thought he was gonna eat the asshole. Like his asshole was gonna eat my couch. Cause like literally, I'm watching that, and even I, who have seen this before, knew it was coming up. Still went.
It was
And
very brutal.
And as I went, I look over and Jay's just doing this.
Like I said, my arm was like this. It was like looking up every so often because I cannot handle it. It was no, I can't do it. I just couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But that was also like one of the most like pivotal parts of the film anyway. Where it's like, oh, shit's gotten real.
I don't know. I thought the pivotal part was when the two girls were down there, found out the plants are making the ringtone, and then all of a sudden all the plants start moving around, start grabbing after them and stuff. That's when you're just like, okay, they're fucked.
And then even more so fucked when Stacy, because Stacy got mind fucked by these plants.
So
big time.
So again, back to Stacy cutting her leg. She wakes up one morning and the plants are wrapped around her leg with a vine going inside of her. Her boyfriend, who is played by the same guy that played Bobby in the X-Men movies, so you got Iceman in this, looks a lot like Pippin.
Mary,
I'm sorry. Looks a lot like Mary. he he pulls the vine out thinking everything's fine. Everything is not fine.
No. Because she gets mind fucked by these plants. But one night, whenever like Amy is just like fucking bawling. I won't say she's bawling, but like she's about to like break down because like she told them bitches not to do this, and no one listened to her. And now because of them, she's in this situation.
She
That's
didn't
how I
really.
felt.
She didn't really tell him not to do this. She just didn't want to go. Jeff kind of forced her to go a little bit. He played the guilt trip game.
Yeah.
More. I was more so like, oh, but I love. Yeah, that was kind of guilt trippy.
No, it's guilt trippy.
that is guilt trippy. But
I mean, she did voice some concerns when they got left there, and she
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
no,
what about how
at
we
that-
gonna call them?
At that point, yes,
So-
yeah, but
who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters,
Not that fucking taxi, obviously.
pesticide.
Pesticides. But anyway, so one night, basically, was it not Jeff and Amy,
It was Eric
and Amy, and Stacy just like she just bolted up. I thought she was possessed.
But
Like, not even gonna
Oh,
lie.
yeah.
yeah, Eric is consoling Amy because Amy's crying her eyes out. Well, the plants are doing their thing where they mimic noises, and they're literally mimicking to where it sounds like they're
boning. So basically, Stacy goes up and was like, "Are you serious? Are you really boning my boyfriend?"
And mind you, this is after Stacy spending an entire day thinking plants are inside her body.
Yep.
Yeah, so like she's already like fucked, and basically he goes into that, and then it calls back to another part in the beginning of the movie where where Amy, in a drunken state, kind of sort of flirts with Matthias, but Matthias was man enough to be like, I can't, no.
Well,
Come get your friend. Come get your friend.
Making out with his ear is not kind of sort of flirting.
that's
She that was one-sided. She was basically like, making out with his ear.
yeah, it was one-sided on her part.
Yeah.
Wasn't like Mateus was coming after
No,
her.
I didn't say that.
She
No,
went
that's what I'm
after
saying.
him.
No, that's what I was saying.
But
Mateus was like, man, it was be like, come get your
I
friend.
think-
She's doing this.
Yeah.
I think Jay's point is that while that was happening, Eric and Stacy were also betting on whether or not she was going to do it. So clearly she has this history.
And it is kind of hinted at that she's cheated on Jeff before. So Stacy kind of flips out on him.
And then as I think,
Mateus dies.
Yeah.
The plants get Mateus. I think that's actually the point the plants were trying to do. They were trying to, because the whole time they had this system where like two would sleep, two would stay and watch. And it was like Eric and Jeff's turn to stay and watch while the girls slept, and Amy couldn't sleep. Had to, Eric's like, it's okay. And that's when the plants started doing the thing. Everybody gets in this big fight. Next thing you know, plants kill Mateus.
and then after that, everything seems to be fine emotionally. You're just like, oh, we're just gonna get the fuck out of here.
Nothing was fine in this
Nothing
movie.
was fine.
Everything was fine.
Mm-mm.
And then we find out Stacy was right about the plants inside her.
Stacy was right. 100% right about those plants.
And how
Mm.
she found out, she knew she was right. She felt it. They saw it. They did nothing.
No, they did something.
They did nothing after the first something happened. They
No.
cut her. They cut the part, like some of her open,
Mhm.
which I know hurt like a motherfucker.
And then they stopped because it's like no more cutting. Because literally, if they would have cut her anymore, she could have died.
I mean, shit. She ended up dying anyway because fucking
Well, they didn't know
Jess-
she was gonna die anyway.
after she was cutting her fucking.
That was well
uh,
after. No, I'm talking about
No,
the
no.
first time they cut her. The first time they cut her, it was just little. Well, I wouldn't say little. They were kind of deep cuts.
That was some gashes.
They got
Yeah.
up in there, and then she was like, "No, I want to be cut more." And they're like, "No, we're not doing that. You need to stop. You were fine." Even though they know she wasn't fine, they could still see she wasn't fine. They're like, "No,
is
gotta
back to
stop."
Jeff sticking his whole hand in someone's wound.
Ugh.
You know?
Tequila
Yeah,
can
I mean,
only do so
hands all
much.
dirty and shit, and he's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, "Little tequila." All right, there we go.
No.
Tequila. That's not how tequila works. That's not how any alcohol that
It's
you
not how
consume
this works. It's not how anything works.
Fast forward and you got Stacy's ass like being mind fucked again.
Yeah, she keeps insisting there's more inside her.
It was
and
there was.
They're looking at her, and they're like, no, no, no. And he's like, she's like, it's in my head, it's in my head. And they're like, no, honey, it's not. And then they see it, and she knows they see it, but they keep denying it.
And then she gets up when everyone else is asleep, and then everybody else wakes up, and all you see is her forehead just like gashed open, and like she keeps on like, I just need to get this one part. I need to get this one part, and like you can
Literally
see
has
like
her thigh.
her thigh.
Oh yeah,
Holding a piece of her thigh as she's filleting it.
Ah!
that is a very accurate description.
And
That's
then
a
she's
one meaty thigh.
And then she's flipping out. She's like, no, I have to get this out. I have to get this out. Jeff's like, okay, you need to calm down. And she cuts Jeff. And he's like, what the fuck? And Eric's like, don't worry. I got this. Babe, you really need to calm down right now. And then she stabs Eric.
In the heart.
In the heart.
In the heart.
Like, so basically this went from like possibly like a possible like, okay, 2 people may have survived to like, nope, there's only gonna be 1.
Yeah.
Because
the plants drag old Eric off. And then they put Stacy out of her misery because she just asked to be killed.
Mm-hmm. And then the plants mind fucked her again. Because of that. Because there is screaming, kill me, kill me. Everyone,
That was the
even
that
the
was
indigenous
all,
folks heard it. The Mayans heard it.
That was a creepy part where like you have her begging to die while the plants are like, yeah, kill her. Kill her. Then we get to the final part. Jeff does what Eric suggested the whole fucking time, yet Jeff knows better. They finally devise a plan where he makes it look like Amy has died, and he walks her down to the bottom of the ruins where the rest of the indigenous people are. And he drops her on the ground, and he makes this big speech. You know, they don't know what the fuck he's saying, but he's making this big speech as he's walking away from the body. And as he gets further and further and further and further and further and further and further away, they start getting a little antsy. They're like, okay, you need to chill the fuck out, dude. Aim their weapons. And he's like, Amy, now. And fucking Amy bolts. And he gets shot. Jeff don't make it. Jeff don't make it at all.
No.
And then
I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I respect the leader of the indigenous people because he did put Jeff out of his misery. He may have been a killer, but he did know the kind of torture that the plants were going to do. Like, they were doing this for a reason. They had a good, valid reason for doing it.
And there's some point before Jeff and Amy come down where there was a shot of him, and I said, you know what he's thinking? He's saying, I am so tired of doing this.
Yeah.
He's so tired of making sure those plants don't get off. Making sure that those plants stay on that ruin in that dumb way people don't come in and just take them away.
Yeah.
And then Amy gets up and bolts into the jungle.
Fuck.
She makes it to the Jeep that was there, which I'm actually surprised that the Jeep even started.
Yeah.
That shocked me, but you know what? Hollywood, whatever. Jeep starts and she makes it out.
That's a Jeep for you.
Yeah. Basically, that's the end of the movie with the Greeks coming towards back because they were left a map by Dimitri and cycle, just a vicious little cycle.
You know, this is not the only film where we've had to deal with a cycle.
We'll mention this before we go into the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
This was the theatrical version that we watched. This is not the version I remember. So this is actually the first time I ever saw this version of the ending.
What was the other ending?
What's the other ending?
The other ending is Amy driving in the Jeep, right? And you get that close-up of her, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. In the director's cut, which is the one I guess I've always seen, there's a little vine goes from her cheek to the top of her head.
Well, yeah. Oh, I would have liked that. That would have made me like the movie so much more. Because the whole time I'm thinking, she's infecting the rest of the jungle. This is going to spread to the whole world. And but it's framed as this triumphant getaway. I'm just like, no, this is the bad ending.
Yeah, and the only reason I say this is the director's cut, because I can honestly see that being the way either the director or the writer wanted it to be. But I don't know, Hollywood's got this weird thing where there has to be a happy ending no matter what. I prefer my horror movies that be bleak as fuck. And honestly, that was one of my favorite things about the movie is like you think she got away, but the whole time you're sitting there, no, she's infected. She's infected. And then you Leo DiCaprio that shit and you're like, I fucking knew it. Knew it.
At the very last frame too. And then you roll credits and then out of the credits, nobody knows, nobody. Ben Stiller, executive
produced this shit.
Executive producer.
Out of all the names, I mean, you literally have nobody, like, even the director, what is his name?
It starts with a C.
You had it earlier.
Something Carter.
I was like, something, I thought it started with a Carter something. I thought it started with a C.
He's done a movie I wanted to see, Hell Night or something
He's
like that.
done a movie, y'all.
Yeah. Carter Smith.
The
movie he did that I wanted to check out was Midnight Kiss.
Was it also the same one who did Bug Crush?
Yes.
Huh. Yeah, he did a movie this year called Swallowed.
But anyway, even he's a bit of a nobody. Everybody in this, except for the fucking author of the book, is a nobody. And then all of a sudden you get Ben Stiller who's just like, yeah, I put my name on that.
Huh. This... You can tell
Please
that
share with the class.
No, you can tell that he picks and chooses his actors and actresses because the same girl who played Amy,
Jenna Maloney,
plays Alice in his newest film Swallowed. It's all like, oh, so he got that one. He done found his Tippi Hedren.
I would say she's a much better actress.
Ooh, Tippi Hedren burn.
See. Before we get into this Alfred Hitchcock shit,
she's probably less abused too.
Probably.
Yeah, I can't defend that.
She's
Alfred
pretty good at
Hitchcock
Neon Demon,
was a dick.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't the best.
No, he was not.
He was not the best.
But this movie is amazing. I highly recommend it. It's so good. What do you guys think?
I feel that it's a lot more fun to talk about it than it was to watch it. To be completely honest.
I think talking about it more makes me feel a little bit better about it. But no, not overall, like, this film is... I can fuck with this film. Like, will I watch it again? Hell no. Now with that body order of horror. But will I recommend it to people? Yeah, if you like survival horror, yeah. So I'm gonna give it... No. What are your final thoughts before I go into ratings?
Oh man, final thoughts. Let's see. I don't have any. I think I've said everything.
Would you read the book?
Would I read the book? I think I might read a synopsis of the book first.
Read Cliff Notes.
Oh, I'm not going to read it right now, but I might read a synopsis of the book, see what, maybe a comparison to the movie, and then consider possibly reading the book.
To be fair, Nick said that the book is somewhat close to the movie.
Oh.
So, like, where other books to movie, Nick will sit there and, like, rip it apart. This one, she didn't rip apart. She was just like, yeah, it's somewhat close. So I give that a validation.
Well, in my mind, the first Hunger Games movies and book is pretty close. You just, in the movie, can't be inside Katniss's head. So even if they're close, there may still be more stuff in the book that just doesn't work in dialogue that's said by like a all-knowing third party or just narrator. So, there's potential that there's stuff in the book that just can't be said on screen. Yeah. And you'd have to infer it from what they do show.
With the Hunger Game, I watched Battle Royale like years before the Hunger Game, so I fucking hate the Hunger Game. I don't like it. Battle Royales.
Luckily, we're not talking about either of those movies. So your final thoughts on The Ruins?
So Battle Royale is amazing.
We're not talking about Battle Royale.
It's another one that I need to watch.
Oh, it's so good. It's these little Japanese kids and they just fucking murder each other.
All right, so my rating is that I give this a 3.5 out of 5. What are yours?
I'm gonna give it a 4 because they killed a kid. I don't know, kid
Well,
murder.
we didn't even talk about that earlier.
We didn't.
Oh yeah, we just totally glossed on the fact that
There's
the Mayans
child
killed
murder.
A kid. The Mayans killed a kid, but for
Well,
the,
to be fair, Amy threw a fucking plan at him.
and
Drew-
they knew what that meant.
Yeah.
So,
That bitch.
I mean, the guy even said, "Hey, you can go up there."
Yeah, he tried to, you
And
know.
the kid didn't go.
That's the kid's fault. If you ask me.
I don't think it's a kid.
It's not the kid's fault.
It's I blame Amy.
It is Amy's
It's
fault. There we
definitely-
go.
I blame Amy.
This is the one thing that was definitely Amy's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
True things.
Yeah, I would give it a 4. I highly recommend this movie. It is on HBO Max. Check it out.
So I'm gonna go with this. Like I said, I didn't like it, but I did like talking about it. I don't think anybody did a bad job in shooting it or acting,
I would.
and so I'm gonna go with a 2.5.
2.5's not bad. I would say the acting to me was pretty top notch, especially coming from the actress that played Stacy
Oh,
in
yeah.
the scene where she's getting cut. Her whines turning into that just silent gasping for air was so realistic. It was painful. So I thought the acting was pretty good all around.
Yeah.
So all right, 2.5, 3.5, and a 4. So average 3.
Average about 3.
Yeah, I would say average 3, maybe 3.5. However you want to swing your whatever you got down there.
You know what's also funny?
Huh.
Dimitri Blasey played himself.
Dimitri played Dimitri.
Yep, Dimitri played Dimitri.
I love that.
I love that for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jay.
Yes. So
What are we doing next week?
What are we doing next week? We are doing.
Is it the film that we told John here that we were doing today?
Oh yeah, he's the one that I
Oh yes.
that I kidnapped him about. What was it? When was it released?
2018.
2018's Annihilation.
Directed
Oh,
by
man.
Alex Garland.
I'm so excited.
The novel is by Jeff Vandermeer. Vandermeer.
Oh yeah, Vandermeer.
Vandermeer.
Man, I don't know how to say his name.
Vandermeer
correctly. I think you got it right though.
sounds European. So the next thing we're going to watch next week in our adaptation month is Annihilation.
Which I have seen. John, I know you've seen.
Oh, I've seen so many times.
Blind again. So, and I haven't even read the book either. I tried to, but I couldn't get the time in. So we're going to completely blind other than what these two bozos told me.
You could read the book in a week.
Yeah,
I believe in you.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll
honestly,
try. I can read.
honestly, if you listen to it on double speed, you can listen to the audiobook in a day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's what I did reading it the second time.
So
That's fair. That's fair.
if you haven't read the book by next week, you're lazy. So,
Just the first one, not the entire Area X trilogy.
holy shit, there's
There's
a trilogy?
Yes, there's a trilogy.
Fudge.
Wait.
All right. So while he's
We'll talk more
thinking-
about that next week.
While he's
Yeah,
thinking
because I
about
have
that-
questions now.
While he's thinking about that, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell so it can let us know, let each other know, we see each other, that whenever we drop an episode that you know that watch us, and also comment, like, I told you all of that stuff, and also follow us on social media, including Letterboxd, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and thank you, our guest today, John, for being here.
Thank you.
And
We got to work on your outro skills.
my outro skills suck, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine because you know what? I'm awesome, and we're awesome,
And you're awesome.
and you're awesome.
Whoever you are.
All you viewers out there.
Yeah. Also, yeah, check out Annihilation. It is currently streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus. So
Exclusively.
yeah, that's the only place I could find it. So that's what I'm gonna say exclusively. Unless you want to rent it.
Oh, also we're on.
Oh Jesus Christ! Join us next week.
No,
I've
we're
been
also
Heath.
on
No.
podcast platforms.
Yes, they know.
Spotify.
They know that by
Stitcher.
now.
They don't. Who knows? This is a. Who knows?
Jesus
This
Christ!
is a new
Join
month.
us next week. I've
New
been
month.
Heath. This has been Jay. That's been John.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been Host of Horrors, y'all.
Get off me.
No. That was so much fun.